In the vast emerald embrace of the Indonesian archipelago, where the Indian Ocean meets the Java Sea, lies a fragment of paradise that defies simple definition. It is an island born of fire, sculpted by water, and breathed into life by the wind. This is Bali. To the casual observer, it is a land of beaches and temples. But look closer, and you will find a complex living organism where every stone, every stream, and every tree tells a story of survival and ancient harmony. Our journey begins not on the land, but in the violet silence of the pre-dawn, high above the clouds. Here, standing guard over the island, is the majestic silhouette of Mount Agung. Rising over 3,000 meters into the thinning air, it is more than just a volcano. It is the spiritual axis of the island, the mother mountain. The geological violence that created this island eons ago has settled into a brooding stillness. The slopes of Agung are a testament to the dual nature of Earth's power. The same lava that once scorched the earth has broken down into some of the most fertile soil on the planet. As the sun breaches the horizon, painting the sky in strokes of tangerine and indigo, the shadow of the mountain stretches westward, waking the island below. Descending from the barren, rocky summit, where only the hardiest alpine ferns cling to life in the sulfurous air, we enter the cloud forests. The air here is cool, constantly misted by the breath of the mountain. Lichens drape from the twisted branches of ancient trees like old men's beards. This is a silent world dampened by moss. It is here that the water cycle of Bali begins. The clouds, snagged by the peaks, weep onto the canopy, feeding the subterranean aquifers that will eventually nourish the rice fields far below. In these high-altitude forests, we find the elusive Kintamani dog, semi-wild, navigating the undergrowth, and the vibrant flash of mountain birds darting through the mist. As the elevation drops, the vegetation explodes into a chaotic, vibrant jungle. We are crossing the Wallace Line, a biogeographical boundary where the fauna of Asia and Australia meet. The canopy becomes a war zone of competition for sunlight. Towering dipterocarps pierce the sky, their roots forming massive buttresses on the forest floor. In the dappled light, the long-tailed macaque reigns supreme, social, intelligent, and occasionally mischievous. These primates are the guardians of the forest temples. We see a troop moving with fluid agility. A mother clutches her infant, its eyes wide with wonder, while the alpha male watches from a high branch, a sentinel in gray fur. They forage for figs and insects, their lives inextricably linked to the sacred forest preserved by the local philosophy of Tri Hita Karana, the harmony between people, nature, and the divine. Listen closely. Above the chatter of the monkeys, a distinct, melodious call cuts through the humid air. It is the Bali Myna, or the Bali starling. With feathers as white as snow and a striking patch of blue skin around the eye, this bird is the island's rarest jewel. Once on the brink of extinction, with fewer than a dozen left in the wild, they are slowly returning to the West Bali National Park. Their recovery is a fragile victory, a testament to conservation efforts that fight against the dark trade of poaching. Seeing one in the wild is like seeing a ghost return to life. They are flashes of white lightning against the deep green foliage. Moving inland, the jungle gives way to a landscape that has been engineered by human hands for over 1,000 years, yet remains perfectly integrated with nature. The rice terraces of Jatiluwik unfold like a giant green stairway to the heavens. This is not merely agriculture, it is an ecosystem. The water that flowed from the mountain springs is channeled through an intricate system of canals and weirs known as subak. This cooperative water management system ensures that every farmer gets what they need, but it also creates a unique wetland habitat. The flooded paddies are teeming with life. Dragonflies with wings like stained glass patrol the air, hunting mosquitoes. Below the surface, eels and frogs navigate the muddy stalks. And then, there are the ducks. Flocks of runners are herded into the fields after the harvest to eat pests and fertilize the soil. It is a symbiotic cycle. The vibrant green of the young rice shifts to the gold of harvest, a living calendar marking the passage of time. The air here smells of wet earth and growing grain, a scent that is the very essence of Balinese sustenance. But water does not stop here. It cascades down through rocky ravines, forming spectacular waterfalls like Sekumpul and Gitgit. These are violent thundering tears in the jungle, where the water aerates, creating microclimates rich in oxygen and spray. Ferns of prehistoric size grow in the splash zones, and freshwater crabs scuttle over the slick rocks. The rivers carve deep canyons, winding their way toward the sea, carrying the nutrients from the mountains to the coast. As the rivers widen and slow, they meet the ocean. The transition zone is guarded by the mangroves. These salt-tolerant forests are the island's kidneys, filtering sediments and protecting the shoreline from erosion. In the tangled roots of the mangrove trees, a nursery thrives. Juvenile fish, too small to survive the open reef, find shelter here. Fiddler crabs wave their oversized claws in the mud, and herons stalk the shallows with patience carved from evolution. It is a quiet, muddy world, but it is the foundation of the marine abundance that lies just beyond. We emerge from the shadows of the mangroves into the blinding brilliance of the coast. Bali's beaches are a study in contrast. To the north and east, the sands are black, a reminder of the island's volcanic heart. To the south, they are white, formed from the breakdown of ancient coral. But the true treasure lies beneath the turquoise surface. We dive into the Coral Triangle, the global epicenter of marine biodiversity. The reef at Menjungan Island is a kaleidoscope of color. Brain corals, staghorns, and soft fans sway in the gentle current. It is a city more crowded than any human metropolis. Clownfish dart amongst the stinging tentacles of anemones, immune to their poison. Parrotfish crunch on the coral rock, their beaks grinding it down to create the sand of the future. A sea turtle, ancient and graceful, glides past, its shell a mosaic of algae and time. It is heading to the surface to breathe, a momentary bridge between the two worlds. Currents swirl violently around the islands of Nusa Penida and Nusa Lembongan. Here the water is colder, nutrient-rich, and dangerous. But in this deep blue void, giants appear. The manta rays, winged leviathans of the deep, gather here to clean. They hover over the cleaning stations, allowing small wrasse to pick parasites from their skin. They loop and roll in a silent, underwater ballet, feeding on the plankton soup. And if one is lucky, from the deep gloom emerges the mola mola, the ocean sunfish, looking like a prehistoric mistake, a giant floating head with fins. It ascends from the crushing depths to warm itself in the sun. These encounters remind us of how little we know of the ocean's secrets. Back on land, the day begins to fade. The heat lifts, replaced by a golden honeyed light. we travel to the cliffs of Uluwatu, where the limestone precipices drop 100 meters vertically into the churning sea. The waves here are legendary, traveling thousands of miles across the Indian Ocean to crash against this barrier. The spray creates a permanent mist, and in the updrafts, sea eagles soar, scanning the water for prey. The sunset in Bali is not just a visual event, it is a curtain call. The sky burns in shades of violet, crimson, and gold. As the light dies, a different Bali awakens. The night shift takes over. In the caves near Goa Lawa, thousands of bats stir. They pour out of the cave mouth like smoke, a living river of fur and wings, heading out to feast on tons of insects and pollinate the nocturnal flowers, including the durian trees. On the forest floor, the civet cat, solitary and shy, begins its hunt. The soundtrack of the island changes from the chirping of birds to the rhythmic pulsing of crickets and the croaking of geckos. Nature in Bali is not a passive backdrop. It is an active participant in the island's spirit. It is resilient, having survived eruptions, droughts, and the pressure of modern tourism. From the microscopic polyp building the reef to the majestic banyan tree holding the spirits of the ancestors in its hanging roots, everything is connected. The water flows from the mountain to the sea and returns as rain, a cycle of rebirth that mirrors the Balinese belief in reincarnation. This is the nature of the island of the gods, eternal, fragile, and magnificent. As the sun rises again, we must understand the engine that drives this biological machine, the monsoon. For half the year, from April to October, the dry southeasterly winds blow from Australia, parching the land and turning the lush green into shades of brown and gold. It is a time of stress for the island's flora, a test of endurance. But then the winds shift. In November, the air grows heavy and thick with humidity. The musim hujan, the rainy season, arrives. It doesn't drizzle here, it assaults the earth. Massive cumulonimbus towers build up over the central mountains during the heat of the day, turning the sky a bruised purple. When the heavens finally ope, the rain falls in sheets, so dense they blur the horizon. This water is the lifeblood of Bali. It triggers an explosion of life that is almost audible. In the dry forests of the West Bali National Park, the landscape undergoes a miraculous transformation. What looked like a barren savanna, reminiscent of the African plains, suddenly bursts into a vibrant, verdant paradise. The deer, known as the Javan rusa, feast on the fresh shoots. These timid creatures, with their large, sensitive ears, are constantly on alert. They are the primary prey for the island's remaining predators. While the Bali tiger is long gone, a ghost of the past, the monitor lizard remains. These prehistoric reptiles, capable of growing to significant lengths, prowl the undergrowth with a flicking, forked tongue that tastes the air for the scent of carrion or vulnerable young. They are the cleaners of the forest floor, scavengers that ensure nothing goes to waste in this closed-loop ecosystem. Deep within the island's interior, away from the rice terraces, lie the great bamboo forests of Bangli. Entering a bamboo grove is like entering a natural cathedral. The culms rise straight and tall, creating a filtered green twilight below. Bamboo is not a tree, but a grass, and it is one of the fastest growing plants on Earth. In the silence of the forest, you can hear the eerie creaking sound of the hollow stems rubbing against each other in the wind, a mournful music that defines this habitat. This is the realm of the insects. The golden orb weaver spider spins webs of incredible tensile strength, spanning meters between the bamboo stalks. Their silk shines like gold thread in the stray beams of sunlight. Here, too, we find the masters of camouflage. The stick insects and praying mantises evolved to mimic the vegetation so perfectly that they are invisible until they move. Higher up, nestled in the calderas of ancient volcanoes, lie the Great Lakes, Baratan, Buyan, Tamblingen, and Batur. These are not merely bodies of water, they are the island's freshwater reservoirs. Lake Batur, sitting at the foot of the active volcano, is a crescent of silver in a landscape of black lava. The soil here is young and volatile. Farmers risk everything to plant crops of onions, cabbage, and chili on these slopes because the volcanic ash is rich in minerals. But nature here is unpredictable. The lake water is highly alkaline, yet it supports a specific ecosystem of tilapia and freshwater crayfish. In the morning mist, fishermen in traditional wooden canoes glide silently over the glass-like surface, a scene that has remained unchanged for centuries. The silence is broken only by the call of the kingfisher, a flash of iridescent blue diving for a meal. Let us look closer at the flora, for Bali is known as the Garden Island for a reason. The frangipani, or plumeria, is ubiquitous, its gnarled branches producing flowers of intoxicating scent. But in the wilder pockets, the botany is far more aggressive. The strangler fig starts life as a seed dropped by a bird in the upper branches of a host tree. Slowly, it sends roots down to the ground, wrapping around the host, eventually strangling it to death. The host rots away, leaving the fig standing, a hollow latticework tree that provides a home for geckos, bats, and owls. It is a brutal, slow-motion battle for survival that results in magnificent sculptural architecture. Then there are the orchids. In the cool, high-altitude botanical gardens of Bedegal, we see the diversity of these flowers. Some are smaller than a fingernail, hiding in the moss. Others are flamboyant and large. They rely on specific pollinators. Certain species of bees or moths co-evolved over millennia. If one disappears, so does the other. This fragility is a constant theme. The ecosystem is a house of cards, beautiful but precarious. We must return to the ocean, but this time not to the coral reefs, but to the black sand slopes of the north, in Tulamben and Ahmed. Here lies a dark, volcanic underwater world that attracts a different kind of life. It is the world of muck diving. Against the black sand, colors pop with neon intensity. We find the nudibranchs, sea slugs of psychedelic patterns and colors, toxic and beautiful. They glide over the sand like jewels. Here, too, hides the mimic octopus. This intelligent cephalopod can contort its body to look like a lionfish, a sea snake, or a flatfish to deter predators. It is a master of disguise, a testament to the evolutionary pressure of these exposed sandy plains. Off the coast of Tulamben rests a monument to human conflict that nature has reclaimed, the USAT Liberty shipwreck. Torpedoed during World War II, it was pushed into the sea by the eruption of Mount Agung in 1963. Now, it is no longer a ship. It is a reef. Soft corals hang from the guns and giant barrel sponges grow on the deck. A school of big-eyed trevally circles the wreck in a shimmering vortex, a defensive ball of silver. Great barracudas patrol the perimeter, their teeth visible in a perpetual grimace. The wreck demonstrates nature's power to heal. Given time, iron becomes a garden and a grave. becomes a nursery. On the southern cliffs, another aerial master rules, the white-bellied sea eagle. With a wingspan of 2 meters, it rides the thermals generated by the cliffs of Uluwatu. We watch as it spots a sea snake surfacing for air. With a calculated dive, it snatches the venomous prey from the water, a display of precision and power. These birds mate for life. Their nests high in the precarious trees on the cliff edge, watching over the surfers and the pilgrims below. But the story of Bali's nature is incomplete without the story of the darkness. In the deep caves of the island, blind creatures navigate by touch and smell. Giant cave crickets and huntsman spiders dwell here in eternal gloom. The guano from the bats supports a food web of beetles and fungi. It is a damp, pungent underworld that mirrors the lushness above. And what of the connection between the human and the wild? The Balinese do not see themselves as separate from nature. Every morning, millions of kanang sari, small palm leaf baskets filled with flowers, are placed on the ground. They are offerings to the spirits, but they are also a daily interaction with nature. The flowers, hydrangea, marigold, plumeria, are grown specifically for this purpose. The organic offerings eventually decay, returning to the soil. However, modern challenges loom. Plastic, the white pollution, now mingles with the organic waste. It chokes the rivers and tangles in the mangroves. The documentary camera does not shy away from this. We see a hermit crab using a plastic bottle cap as a shell, a heartbreaking symbol of adaptation to a polluted world. Yet we also see the community clearing the rivers, a reawakening of the ancient stewardship. Let us zoom in to the microscopic level. The soil of the rice paddies is alive. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria live in the roots of the legumes planted between rice cycles. Ducks paddle in the mud, eating the pests, while their droppings fertilize the water. It is permaculture practiced for 1,000 years before the term existed. The water temples, led by the high priests, dictate the schedule of planting, not by whim, but by an ancient calendar that aligns with the breeding cycles of pests, naturally controlling outbreaks without chemicals. It is a triumph of ecological knowledge passed down through generations. As the wet season peaks, the waterfalls become thunderous. The Sekumpul waterfall is a triple column of whitewater crashing into a pool that generates a wind of its own. The spray keeps the surrounding canyon perpetually dripping. Here, rare ferns and mosses that exist nowhere else on the island cling to the slippery rocks. The noise is deafening, a reminder of the raw energy that shapes this land. In the quiet estuaries, we find the saltwater crocodile. Though rare now, they are the historic apex predators of the coastal swamps. They are the shadows in the murky water, the ancient dragons that remind us that this paradise has teeth. Their presence is a sign of a healthy, undisturbed ecosystem. As our journey draws to a close, we look back at the silhouette of the island. From the deep trenches of the ocean to the sulphurous peak of Agung, Bali is a vertical slice of biodiversity. It is a place where the continental plates ground together to create a laboratory of life. We see the struggle, the strangler fig choking the host, the monitor lizard raiding the nest, the coral fighting for space on the reef. But we also see the harmony, the cleaner wrasse and the manta ray, the heron and the buffalo, the farmer and the soil. The sun sets once more, this time casting long shadows over the Tana Lot Temple, perched on a rock in the ocean. The tide is coming in, isolating the temple from the land. The waves crash rhythmically. The heartbeat of the world, a solitary frigate bird flies high above, heading out to sea for days on end. A master of the wind, Bali is more than a destination. It is a lesson. It teaches us that beauty is resilient, but demands respect. It shows us that we are not the owners of the earth, but merely tenants, living alongside the true landlords, the trees, the ocean, and the wind. As the screen fades to black, the sound of the gamelan orchestra blends with the chorus of the jungle frogs, a final harmony of culture and nature, leaving us with the enduring image of an island that is, in every sense, alive. This is the wild heart of Bali, beating strong against the tides of time.